eyes with a country glow. Robert spinning tails, cornbread's got the flair. Miss Elizabeth, the mama with wisdom to share. With a laugh and a grin, we're lighting up the air. Southern hearts and humor, we're a rowdy trio pair. God's our guide, family's our pride. Tune in to Mama Said, come along for the ride. Mama said, keep it real, keep it true. Love your neighbor like the good book tells you to. From the back roads to the front porch swing, we're serving up laughter, making your heart sing. Got family and a whole lot of fun. Mama said, you know we're number one. Cornbread's got a story about a fishing hole. Robert's cracking jokes that'll save your soul. Miss Elizabeth's got the sass, she's the queen of the show. With her southern wisdom, she's stealing the glow. We're talking life, love, and sweet iced tea. Respecting all folks, that's how it's gotta be. From the red clay hills to the Georgia pines, Mama said brings the good old times. Mama said, keep it real, keep it true. Love your neighbor like the good book tells you to. From the back roads to the front porch swing, we're serving up laughter, making your heart sing. Got family and a whole lot of fun. Mama said, you know we're number one. You never know what's coming, it's a wild, wild show. Might be preaching grace or dancing with a banjo. We're keeping it clean, keeping it light, praising the Lord and laughing all night.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Southern Fried Podcast with Mama Said. We got Mama, Miss Elizabeth, right there.
Hey, y'all.
How's
How is
everybody
everybody
doing?
tonight?
Jinx. We both go on with it.
We used to go Peach Poke, you owe me a Coke, but I don't drink Coca-Colas anymore, so.
Yeah, well, I still do sometimes. Probably shouldn't, but I do sometimes. Just can't help it.
Well,
Just
they got so much sugar in them.
Yeah, I only drink diet ones now. I drink diet Duke.
Well,
I can't say I only drink it. I usually just drink diet Duke. So
Hey, Jen. I'm good. I'm a little tired. I had my grandbabies all day today. I did take a nap before the show, but I think that just made it worse. How you doing today, hon? Look, I ended up turning my heat on.
did you?
I did.
That's just pitiful.
Don't even
That's
start
okay.
on me.
I've been thinking about becoming a sous chef and making sushi.
Well, that's not what a sous chef is. Oh, good Lord.
What do you think?
That'll work.
Will that work?
That'll work.
Hey, Barry.
Hey, Barry.
Glad you just both made it in here. And everybody else that's out there, hey, welcome to the show.
That's funny.
I'm
You know,
going to be a sushi chef.
I used to could eat things that were cheese flavored.
Yeah.
I can't eat that anymore. I can't eat
I
things that are cheese flavored anymore. Artificial cheese flavored.
Okay, that's proven. You're officially weird, but that's okay. Everybody's got their own weirdness. You're weird. If you can't eat
I
cheese, you're
know.
weird unless you're lactose intolerant.
No, I can eat cheese.
Yeah,
Cheese flavored. Like I can't do goldfish anymore.
I mean you can't do like cheese whiz and go weird. bizarre, twisted.
Oh.
It's all right.
Now I could probably make my own homemade goldfish and do them out
Well,
of real
yeah.
cheese.
Oh, okay. I don't like eating goldfish anyway. Kind of slimy.
So you wrong. You wrong.
It's just like a sardine, but different.
No, don't even go there. Don't, man, don't go
Sorry.
there.
Sorry, I'm not gonna go there.
Thank you. You
Not
might
gonna go.
see green color on my face.
I don't want to see old green color. They done found you. Your
It's my
children have
son-in-law.
found
I'm
you.
almost positive
Yeah.
it's my son-in-law.
Yeah. What you doing in a barn? Get out of the barn.
They know I come down here on Mondays.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Chuck
they
has never
doing.
eaten a goldfish, Barry. Oh,
He might like the
oh,
real one.
he might, but he ain't gonna find out. He can't even get in my tank. In fact, he probably wouldn't get in my tank but once. I got stuff in there that'll bite him. Puffers get a little bit more aggressive now, and the
Oh
trigger has always
yeah,
been aggressive. They'll bite his toes. You know,
I
and I got a
bet.
cover over the tank though, so he can't get his
Well,
teeth.
you know, we gonna scooch away from food for a minute.
Okay,
But you know, I love food anyway. I can talk about food all night long. But we gonna talk move away from food for just a minute.
okay,
And you know, being from the South, um, I was always raised to have manners.
yeah,
How about you?
yeah. Oh, my mom was big on them. Oh my goodness.
And you know, I was always taught yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. And you know, even as a lady, if if you saw an older couple coming to like a restaurant, you always held the door open.
Yeah,
And even if it's not an older couple and you're standing there and you're opening the door, you're fixing to leave and you saw somebody coming, I always hold the door open.
yeah,
I just feel like that's, you know, that's good manners.
yeah. Especially if they're
And
carrying something.
especially, yes. So, you know, the sad thing is nowadays kids don't get taught those manners.
No, I'm gonna tell you something. They're essential to me. You got to
Hmm.
have good manners. It does not hurt you to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It does not hurt you to open a door, but there's more to it than that. I mean, like as a guy, when I'm walking, holding hands or whatever, my baby's on the inside, away from the road.
Yeah.
Oh, and people don't even know that, and they don't even know where it comes from. You know, but you always put the lady to the inside, away from traffic, away from stuff that gets battered up out of the road. Keep them
Hmm.
safe. I mean, you keep them away from the road.
Well, you
Uh,
know, it started back in even before cars came about, if I'm not
mhm.
mistaken. You know, the
Horse and
men
buggies.
would walk, the men with horse and buggies, with just even horses, so that the men would be splattered
Yeah,
with even just the mud or whatever, and the ladies with their good dresses wouldn't have anything on them.
yeah. Because back then, women maybe had one or two pretty dresses.
Hmm.
That's it, and they wanted to keep them looking good, and they didn't want mud all over them, and horse
Yeah.
and everything else that you would find in a western town road. And most of those roads were just dirt. And when it
Hmm.
rained, they turned to mud because they had a lot of traffic on them. But
Yeah.
that's where that originally came from. You know,
Yeah.
opening a door for a woman in a car.
Hmm.
And most women, a lot of women, we went through this whole phase in this country. It was like, I can open my own door. I can do for myself. I don't need you doing it for me. It's not a matter of us doing it for you. It's just manners. It's just being polite.
Hmm. And
You
you
see,
know, I've seen. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt,
no,
Rob.
go ahead. Keep going.
Even opening car doors, and even put a man putting his hand. up at the top so the woman don't hit her head.
Mhm.
I've
And
seen that.
and that's yet another one that goes back to Western times when you helped the woman out of the buggy because she had that
Mhm.
big billowy skirt. They had all those hoops and stuff on the inside.
Mhm.
They couldn't see their feet. But you help her out of the buggy, and
Mhm.
make sure she don't get hurt and she gets down safe. A lot of this stuff goes back a long time, and
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, if we had more manners in this country, a lot of stuff wouldn't happen that does happen.
Oh gosh, yes.
Mm,
You know, pulling out a chair for somebody.
yeah.
For a man pulling out a chair for a lady.
Hmm.
You know, to help her. It's not that she can't pull her own chair out. It's just respectful
Yes.
and
And
making sure that she can.
minding your,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you go. You go. I'm sorry. My
No,
brain
it's
was
funny.
way over here. No, finish your thought. I didn't mean to
It's
interrupt.
just it goes back to those times because when they did wear those big dresses and stuff, making sure that they get in the seat and they don't miss their seat. But even today, it's just manners. It's just politeness. It's you know, and here's another one. I didn't know until I saw somebody's TikTok or whatever that when you are at some of these fancier restaurants, I didn't know this. When you put your napkin in your lap, if you are getting up to go to the restroom and you are not done with your meal, you put your napkin in the seat when you go to the restaurant. But when you are done and you are finished with your meal, that's when you put your napkin either on your plate or on the table. I
I
didn't
didn't
know that.
know that.
There's your piece of
There's something
etiquette
new.
for today.
Yeah. And I'm gonna throw this out as another form of good manners that people don't think about. Minding your own business.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to be all up in somebody else's business and what they believe. Smile and nod. If you don't agree with them, you don't even have to say anything. You can just walk away. That is perfectly acceptable in today's
Mm-hmm.
society as well. In fact, I was talking to Dave about this before the show. It's on Fox News tonight. A Georgia man, a man from Georgia. Now he should know some manners. You would think. It depends on what part of the state he came from.
Yeah.
But we got crazies in Georgia too. He was arrested for allegedly shooting at a North Carolina home after tearing down a Trump banner. Apparently, he got triggered seeing a Trump banner, ripped the sign down, and shot at these people's home.
Oh my heavens.
All right, number one, you destroyed somebody else's property. That's not good
Yeah.
manners. Number two, you wasn't minding your own business. That's not good manners. And worst of all, you're going to shoot at somebody? Missed the guy by a matter of feet.
Mm-mm-mm.
And this is a 37-year-old man. This isn't a kid. It was a 37-year-old man that did this.
See?
No respect. And manners, to me, is a sign of respect given.
Yeah.
You're giving somebody respect when you're showing good manners. There is no respect from somebody that did something like that. The only person they're out for is themselves. Me,
Mm.
my trigger. Oh my gosh. So the heck with this guy and his family and stuff like that. I'm just going to shoot up after I tear his sign down.
Oh, sorry. Went
It's good
dark.
manners. It's good manners. Turn lights off, depending upon what's going on.
Went dark. Well, it depends.
Yeah. Oh,
Some
we
people
get
like lights on. Okay.
uh,
Well, here's a question, because
okay.
um, a lot of the people don't know. Last week, I started subbing last week,
Yeah.
and whoo, wow, that's been fun. Let me tell you. And so, along with A lot. Am I, Barry? Am I in and out? No, this is. I know, Barry. I know. It's not a Wi-Fi. They don't have Wi-Fi at the barn right now. Um, I'm on. I'm still using my data from my phone.
We working on getting that
We
fixed.
working on it, Barry. I promise you, we
Yeah.
are, honey.
It's going to work out.
Um, we. But anyway, so here's manners. So I did sixth grade, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade band. I'm not going back to the middle school. I'm just going to tell you, I'm not. Because they were horrid, 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 horrid. So their parents. This is what their parents are teaching them, that they have to be respected. The kids do. In my opinion, as a kid, this is what how old is sixth and seventh and eighth graders now? Um,
Well, that would be sixth grade should be about 12.
yeah, 12,
Yeah.
13, and 14,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Um, you know, they can be respected to a point, but their parents should be teaching them, no, you respect adults no matter what. As long
Yeah.
as they're
Keep
not
keep
berating
them safe.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, as long as that teacher's not berating you, and as long as those teachers are not yelling in your face, and as long as those teachers aren't, belittling you, then they should be respecting those teachers.
Yeah. Look, we need to quit respecting kids so much that you can't teach them. Okay. There
Hmm.
comes a point in time when you have to discipline a child. And there's sometimes when a good butt whooping goes a long ways.
Hmm.
And you could tell these kids today do not get a butt whooping.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
And, and so when they're out of sight of mom and daddy, they become little hellions because
Oh, most definite.
they've not been taught to respect their elders. They've not been taught to respect their teachers. They've not been taught respect and everything. They demand respect, but they refuse to give it.
Mm-mm.
And childhood is the time where you teach them the difference between those two. Because
Yeah.
there's a big difference there. When I go to a restaurant and I'm buying my food there and I'm doing business there, and I get a waitress that's all snotty
Hmm.
and obnoxious, I'm angry because she is not respecting the fact that I'm there spending my money and I'm going to leave her a tip. I don't deserve to be treated like that.
And most
And
of the
I will
times when I
stand
get
up for
people like
myself.
that, I don't leave them a tip.
I'll tell them why.
Hmm.
I ain't leaving you Jack, and then I'll go find somebody and tell them why too. I'll go on over their head. But, at the same token, if I go to a restaurant and I'm getting good service and somebody jumps all over a waitress that's doing her best to give them the service that they ask for and that
Yeah.
they expect, I'm not going to sit back for that either. I mean, it just, that's a two-way street. If they're in there working hard and doing their job, they deserve respect and they deserve
Yes.
to be treated accordingly. And
Hmm.
then deserve to be tipped accordingly as well. If they're in there not, then, but if you're a customer in there just ranting and raving, me and Sweetie went to a little restaurant over here in Donaldsonville. This has been a while back, and I've probably talked about it before. And a lady sitting behind us with her husband. Oh, she was just a Karen from Mars. I mean, she was an absolute teetotal Karen. I want my bacon cooked medium. If it's cooked too much or if it ain't cooked enough, I'm going to send it back. Look, the bacon at 3 squares is paper thin. You're only going to get it one way. It's going to be crispy.
Hmm.
It's going to be crispy. Oh, I'll send it back till they get it right. And yeah. And I want my eggs scrambled. They better be scrambled good. And them grits, y'all got grits. I think I might want grits unless they're runny. Now you better not serve me no runny grits. Oh, I can tell by the way you're stirring those. They ain't runny. Oh, I mean, gets to a point. And her husband looked like he wanted to just crawl under the table. He was behind me. When I got up to leave, I saw the look on his face. But apparently he got up to leave. And she said, "Oh, you gonna leave? You want a scene up in here? I'll make a scene up in here." Normally, I would say something. I would ask her to quiet down and be respectful. Normally. But
Mm-hmm.
I was laughing so stinking hard. I had tears running down my face and I couldn't stop, you know. And when I got up to leave, I got my first good look at her, and she looked like a Karen too.
Oh
And
gosh.
oh my gosh, oh, it was amazing. And she says, "Yeah, he gets it." And I was up there, just you could still see stains on my face where I've been crying because I was laughing so hard at what she was saying and the scene that she was making. That is disrespectful.
It is.
For me to laugh about it, I couldn't help it because I'm
No,
me.
it was disrespectful of her.
Yes, she berated all of the people in there before they even had a chance to screw anything up. I'm not saying they wouldn't have screwed it up, but at least give them a chance to mess it up before you
Yeah.
start in on them. And that poor guy she was with, he was not happy. He
I
was
would have
very
told him.
upset.
I would have told him, look, you need a good divorce lawyer. I might
I
know a
don't know
few.
if they was married or not, but I don't care. It's none of my business, none of my affairs. But I ain't laughed that hard in a long, long time. I think I might have even blew a snot bubble. It was that bad. I mean, it was hilarious listening to this, you know. Now,
That's funny.
can I be a Karen? Yes, I can. My pet peeve, and I know a lot of places are doing this now when I go buy smoke, okay? And they want me to take my license out of this little protected thing. I got a couple other important things in there. I don't want them messed up, like my social security card, stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
pulling that thing in and out messes them up. They want me to pull it out. Well, I want to know where that stuff is, and I don't want to carry it in the regular part of my wallet. I want it protected. You have to take your license out so we can scan it. No, you can punch the number in there. I'll show it to you so you can see it. Oh no, we got to scan it. I got arthritis and everything else. I don't like getting that little thing out of there. It's very hard to get it out. It fits in there snugly, and I like it that way. And it hurts, and I don't like it. And I tell them, you know, "Oh, well, I can't help that. You're just going to have to take it out anyway." I had one lady that would actually take it out herself. I would hand her my wallet, and she'd pop it out, and she'd very carefully put it back in. No problem with that. But a lot, no, no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then the same store, a different location, they'll just plug the number right in and go on. What the
Maybe
heck?
that's a sign.
I quit going to that other store.
No, maybe that
And I need to quit
maybe
smoking.
that's a sign. Mm-hmm.
You know, Dave said something similar the other day. I'm working on it. Okay? I know I've been working on it for you. Chuck, you're not showing manners. What the heck? He just ran up the cat tree. He never slowed down. Ran up it. Come tearing in here. He must have just went and pooped.
I heard him.
He must have just went and pooped. I'm quite sure because he gets like this after he poops. Now he's laying down up there like, "Oh, I ain't doing nothing."
Of course not.
If you
Of
have
course not.
cats, this is not an unusual phenomenon. When they go to the potty, they get the zoomies. And yes, even Chuck, fat, lard butt Chuck, gets the zoomies. Yes, she was earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
we could
now when after I give my dogs a bath, they get the zoomies.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Mm, yeah. But now he's laying up there now. Let me see. I'm gonna try this. Look at it.
Oh,
What?
how funny!
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing.
A king on his throne.
You are correct. And that is how he feels about it. You know, make no doubt about it. He is absolutely king of the house right now.
That's funny. Okay, so one more question, and
Okay.
this is for everybody in the comments, not just Rob, everybody.
Yeah.
So, I know the government says at 18 you're considered an adult,
Yes.
which I don't think that kids should be considered an adult at 18. I know they can go to war for our country, which I think should be pushed back. I don't think kids should be allowed to go to war at 18. Um, because boys' brains are not fully developed at 18.
Yeah.
I
That's what the
mean,
military wants them for boot. They want to shape and mold their brain. That's why they pull them in at 18 or let them start coming in at 18. They get to mold them and shape them into the fighting machine that they want them to be. And it's easier at that age.
well,
I'm not saying it's necessarily right, but I'm
I
saying that,
know, I know, but they're, I understand what you're saying, but I
yeah,
get it. I get where you're coming from. So,
right.
do you think age, here's my question. Do you think age makes a person an adult?
No. There are a couple of things that go into that. And here's my way of thought on some of this stuff. When you're old enough to go serve your country in battle, and they deem that you're old enough to carry a weapon and shoot somebody or be shot, and you're old enough to make a viable decision, supposedly, on who to vote for in elections, and you're trusted with that, you should be able to buy a beer if you want one. That's one thought. Okay, I'm not advocating going out and drinking beer, but I'm saying if you're old enough to go serve your country to fight and die for it, and you're old enough to make a cognitive decision on who to vote for, you should be old enough to drink. Now, I'm gonna make it probably makes a lot of people angry, but that is my personal opinion on that, and everybody's not going to agree with me on that. But that is
Mm,
my thoughts on it. Number two, there's a whole lot of factors that go into making a person an adult and to be cognizant enough to be an adult. Okay. If you have the common sense to make a budget, I'm sorry, I took my camera off the monkey with Chuck. Now it's all screwed up. To make a budget and manage your own money, that's a great step toward being an adult. If
mm-hmm.
you if you are cognizant enough to recognize the fact that people can have a different opinion than you and not be berated for it, that is a step toward being adult. That's because you're developing manners and you're developing respect for others. But you have to be an adult. Not only do you have to have respect for yourself, but you have to have respect for others. Pay your bills, do your thing, go to work every day. That's all
Mm-hmm.
part of being an adult. Some people don't have the capacity up here for that. They are still children, in my opinion. I don't care how old they are. I don't care if they're 50 and like that. They're still a child. They don't have a grasp on reality. And that comes into play, and some of them don't want to have that grasp. They don't want to take the responsibility, which is a huge part of being an adult is being responsible. Does that make sense? Am I
Yeah, yeah.
so, you know, yeah,
So, well, but see, like, here's my thing. Like the government basically says at 18 they consider these kids coming out of high school an adult.
no,
I don't. I
I,
don't feel like I don't feel like these kids at 18 are responsible enough, especially nowadays, to be adults.
and we
That's
need,
why that's why I'm saying I don't think that, that at 18 there are some people that
mhm,
are forced at at 18 to become an adult.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a choice. You know, kids that are in the foster care system, they age out at 18. They don't
Yeah.
have a choice sometimes because they've not been in a foster home or they've not been adopted into the system or into somebody's house, or they're not in a loving home that has said to them, you don't have to, even though you've aged out of the foster care system, you don't have to leave my home. I love you despite what
Yeah.
they say, and you can still continue to live here.
Yeah.
You know, the reason I say that is because back to the subbing thing, I subbed at the high school one day, and there was some rude kids there.
Right.
Not nearly as bad as the middle school. However, you know, telling these kids, you're not an adult yet. Well, yes, I am. I'm 18.
Yeah.
Age doesn't make you an adult. You
No, it
know,
doesn't.
when I was, I even sometimes in my early 20s, 21, 22, there was times I still didn't feel like I was an adult. I thought I'm just playing at this, you know, and you know, and you want to give your life experiences to some of these kids, offer them advice. But then when you start offering, saying things to these kids, they look at you like you're stupid.
Yeah.
And that is part of the mentality of kids today that don't have that respect aspect. And I've come to the opinion of, I think our generation and part of the generation that came after us that got the tail end of not having cell phones all the time and not having the internet all the time are probably some of the best generations that and was raised the right way.
Yeah.
Um,
And see, when I was a kid, the coolest thing we had was an Atari. And we didn't have those at first. I mean, they came out in my
no,
lifetime. And before that, the coolest thing we had was plastic for me was little plastic army men and little matchbox cars.
yeah,
But you used your imagination, you thought about it, or a stick. A stick was all kinds of things. It could be one of them, something that soldiers use. It could be a sword. It could be a spear. It could be anything. How many sword fights did you have with a stick?
oh gosh, I know.
And we were the best sword
You know,
fighters ever.
yeah, pirates and fighting pirates and
Yeah,
cowboys and Indians and bank robbers and I mean all of that. And I have come to the opinion that even as we are on the internet tonight and we are doing our podcast, that phones, games such as the hold on, sorry, the lights went out again. Somebody flipped the switch. Xbox, these PS5s and all of that, those, and being able to have access to games 24/7 on phones, and you know being able to access the internet so readily, that
yeah,
the way that the kids can now is going to be the downfall of society.
it could be. You could really be onto something. While it is, there are some benefits to having news and information in your hand at all that you can refer back to. It's like having an encyclopedia in your hand. The information's there. That can be handy, but you also don't have to think anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And critical thinking is becoming a lost skill. We don't have to think. We don't have to figure it out. We just Google it. And that's not good. Losing our critical thinkers is hurting us. You're right, Watchman. Look here.
Mm-hmm.
You're
They
right. They
don't.
have no business with them.
You know,
And they
in
take them to
kindergarten
school.
and you know, in first grade and in elementary school, kids would have more expensive smartphones than a lot of teachers.
Yeah.
And you know, you would say to these kids would say, well, my mama wants me to have my phone because in case of an emergency. Well, I got news for you, love. If there's an emergency, you're not
You ain't
getting
going to
that
have time.
smartphone out of that bag.
No. And that's hogwash. I think if they take them to school, they ought to be taken up. Barry, you are absolutely right. Barry said, it's sad, isn't it? The entire Library of Congress in the palm of your hand, and they use it for taking pictures of body parts.
Mm-hmm.
There is
You
no
know,
need. No
when I
need.
was at the high school last week, um, I was like, okay, guys, the kids were playing games on their phones instead of doing their work.
Mhm.
They were on TikTok. They would ask to go to the bathroom and they would have their phones in their hoodies or in their pants pockets. They would go to the bathroom, be gone for 20, 25 minutes, playing on their phones in the bathrooms instead of being in class doing their work. And, you know, we wonder why kids, and I hate to be so blunt about it, are dumber today
Yeah.
than they were 20 years ago.
Yeah. Watchman's right. Any flip phone style or smartphone will allow 911 calls with no plan.
Mm-hmm.
If there's an emergency, call 911.
Yeah.
Hey, kids, y'all are going to find this amazing. But myself, Elizabeth, Dave, probably just about everyone on here went to school without a phone in our pockets.
Yeah.
And we survived.
We
And
did.
let me tell you something else. We didn't have to worry about some nut job coming in with a gun and shooting the school up. But we had to pay a price. The principal and your teacher, you had to respect them. Because if
Or
you
you got
didn't,
your
they
butt
come
spanked.
get out in the hall and paddle your butt, which is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And I think that was another downfall when you have a few bad eggs. But, and if they want to take it away from the teachers, I can understand that. But send it to the principal. Let him do it. Principal's got a job to do. He generally has an assistant who would probably light your butt up even worse than he would. That's fine. If you are disrespecting the teacher, you're not doing what you're told, there has to be consequences. And pointing your
The
finger
worst
at ain't
the
gonna
worst
do
thing
it.
they did though is taking it away from the teachers.
Yeah,
Because when they took it away from the teachers, that was saying you have no authority over these kids.
yeah,
And you know, you could paddle one or two kids out in that hallway for disrespect, and that would straighten everybody up pretty
it
much.
would. It would. It would. Anthony, look, I am not for taking books out of schools. I'm not for changing history to suit the way somebody feels today. Either it happened a certain way or it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need to. Now, adding books that talk about explicit sexual material has no place in school.
No.
And when I was going to school, we called that pornography. I don't know what they
Yeah.
call it now. All right. Now, in health class, we had health class, and they explained the differences between to us. and how things work for males and how things work for females. We had a class on that,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't that explicit. It explained normal stuff. So, uh, amen to that. Amen to that, Watchman.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was us, here in the, here where I live, every truck had their, because the kids would go hunting after school. They had
mhm,
their guns in the back, hanging in the back window. We never heard of a gun incident.
no,
Never, never.
no.
And the kids would drive onto the campus. That they would lock their doors, and the guns would be hanging in the back window.
Watchman, I'm not for keeping books in schools that are nonsense, but facts are facts, like history books and stuff like that. We need to keep it as facts. I do agree that like books that are,
I'm sorry, but
trying to change history, that are
hmm
trying to convert people to perversion and stuff like that has no
if
business in
they're
schools.
talking
If they're
about
there,
if
I want them out.
yeah, if they're talking
So
about
I'm,
changing children's sexual identity,
yeah,
transgender stuff like that, they don't need to be in schools
no,
whatsoever.
no. So I think you and I are seeing eye to eye on that. Let me see. Let me get caught up on the chat here. We're getting some topics going here tonight. Barry says, I think we need to expand the digital library
Sorry.
of Georgia so that smart TVs and smartphones are able to access books all the time in every book. I don't know. One thing about history is you've got some ugly stuff in there. We do not want to traumatize small children. I mean, let them get to an age when they're ready for it. But
Well,
we shouldn't hide from history. And
mm-mm.
there's some stuff out there in that digital library that's medical, and they talk. Some of that stuff talks about the transgenderism. There's some, excuse me, some of that stuff is mixed in with that, and
Mm-mm.
it's knowledge based. It's not sexual based. It's knowledge based. And we need to be careful on what we're exposing them to. I think. Go ahead, Miss Elizabeth. What you think on that?
Here's my thing about history. History has been perverted as to what has been allowed to be put in history books so far, and the truth is not always written in there.
Try.
And here's my big one: slavery.
Yes, it happened.
The tr- it did happen, but it didn't happen the way that it's always been construed in the history books,
No, no.
because they want to make in the history books in the United States, they want to make it out that the white men went and just started stealing people from
It's not the way it
Africa.
happened.
That's not the way it happened.
Mm-mm.
That is not true. And then it's been brought back, and then this is my soapbox tonight. I'm
Okay.
just going to tell you,
Okay.
in Africa, the black people were already selling black people.
Hmm.
They were already had them as slaves.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, you can go back and watch some of the Hodge twins episodes. They bring it up.
Yes.
We already
And they were already slaves. They
they were.
already were.
Now, the white men did go over and purchase slaves,
Yep.
which they were wrong for doing.
Hmm.
They did bring them back to Europe and to the United States. Well, to Europe, because the United States wasn't
Yeah.
here yet. They brought them back to Europe when United States was founded. That's when they came over. And then they still started going over and bringing them over to
Yep.
settle the United States, help settle the United States. And but listen, here's the thing, folks, is what y'all need to understand, what everybody needs to understand. Black people were not the only slaves.
That's right. What y'all don't remember is the fact that there was a thing called indentured servitude.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the Irish that came to this country came as indentured servants. And they would agree to do whatever somebody said for X number of years in order to pay for their passage to America.
And there were, and the sad thing is there's a lot of white people that were that way too, and they lived
Mhm.
shorter lives than the black people did because they were treated worse than the slaves were.
Yeah.
They only lived 2 to 3 years as an indentured servant versus years as a slave.
Yeah. And the reason why they
So,
were treated worse was because they knew they only had a limited amount of time to get as much work out of
mhm,
them as cheaply as possible. You know,
yes. So, they were treated as slaves, not as an indentured servant. They were treated as slaves, worse than slaves.
yes.
And that's what people don't understand is, you know, but here's the thing though, Rob, is people don't really even think that there were white slaves, even as people came over to the United States and people came over to the United States, but there were.
Yeah. There
Even
were.
there were Chinese slaves.
Yeah. They
There
built a
were
railroad.
mhm, people that worked on the railroad were slaves.
Mhm.
Yes, some of those people, a lot of those people got paid, and and you know that's what aggravates me about the history books. That is never brought up in the history books,
No, never.
and
Now we talked about it
so
back then. When we were kids, we talked about it, but they've
mhm,
taken it out now.
and
Uh,
so we need to people need to realize that it happened.
yeah, they do,
Hmm.
and they don't want to, but it did happen.
It did.
Anthony, Anthony, we did more to get our hands smacked with a ruler. We got our butts tore up with paddles.
Yes.
Let's see if we can catch up on some chat here, real quick, and we can get back on this soapbox if you want to. But let's see if
I'm
we can
good
catch up
now.
without getting behind. Barry said, but there's always a time and a place for that information. That doesn't justify the use of a phone during classroom instruction. This is for your own research. Amen to that. If you want to learn more, do it outside of class. That's absolutely fine.
Hmm.
I think research tools need to be in the hands of everyone. Now, banned books and explicit materials need to be in a restricted section. I agree. Uh, this way, we don't ban books, and people can decide what they want to restrict and what they want to allow their kids to see and not see. I'm assuming you meant see and not see. Barry goes talk chat, so sometimes it comes out kind of messy there. Watchman says LGBTQ, Marxist, communist, witchcraft, Satanism has no business in school. They should be burned in bonfires. I would say I don't agree with that. I don't think you should be teaching Marxism and communism as a good thing. I think you need to explore the countries. It's called civics. Different countries have different government styles. And
Hmm.
you need to learn civics. You need to understand what Marxism is. You need to understand what communism is. You need to understand the
Yes.
differences in those and what we have, which is capitalistic. Well, what do they
And
call it? You
well, some
know,
of that would be taught in world history also.
yes.
Now,
Uh,
I've never seen books. I'll be honest with you. I've never seen books on witchcraft or Satanism
no,
or even the LGBTQ stuff in any of the schools I've been in. I'll just be honest with you. I never have.
yeah, I agree. That stuff shouldn't be in there, but that's you know. Now, when you're talking about like Roanoke Island, the mystery, I mean, we studied that when I was in school. You know, they came over and they disappeared. Or what was it? The Salem witch trials. You know, which was Oh, she's a witch. Well, we got to burn her. It
Well, no,
wasn't.
that's history, though.
Yeah, that's history, and it's not
Hmm.
pretty. So, Anthony says, let's not forget human history in general has had a history of slavery. The Romans did it, the
Yes.
Egyptians did it,
Yes.
the Israelites did it, and that's all
Yes.
true, you know. Barry says it goes to the day of 2 billion. If 1865 marked the end of slavery, we didn't learn much. History teaches us man learns nothing from history. Hegel, the father of chronological history. Okay. You know, but, while we freed the slaves, we didn't treat them any better there for a long time. We didn't. I mean, that's where the whole civil rights movement came from. And eventually we got a handle on it. And I think today, I don't judge anybody based on the color of their skin. I think Martin Luther
Mm-mm.
King, one of the greatest things that happened. Watchman for You says all of the slave ships were owned and operated by Jews. That is not true. That is not true. There were a couple of very big slaving companies that had nothing to do with Jewish people. Also ran all of the slave auction blocks that were 80% of slave owners. No,
No.
you're misinformed there, sir. No white man went and bought slaves from Africa. Well, they were sure enough shipped here, and I'm quite sure there were some white slave ship captains. There was more than one. White men freed slaves. Many of the Confederate generals were against slavery. That's true, actually. Now I'm behind, and I see one side ticking, but I'm trying to get through my chat list here. I'm gonna spend all night on chat. Y'all let me catch up. Barry said, my sister wasn't injured, but we aren't bounty land in the Tennessee War of 1812 and the Revolutionary prior to 1812. I don't understand that, Barry. Sorry. Sex trafficking, human trafficking, and of course, electric vehicles add to slavery today. To mine the materials and manufacture the batteries for electric cars involve slave labor, where they go after the rare earth minerals and metals and stuff to make the batteries. Yes, they do.
Yes.
There were white slaves, the Irish. Yep, you're right about that. One of the first slave owners were a black man. You're right about that, Watchman. Mark Anthony Cooper said about the war, it was the capital of one nation seeking control of the capital of another. Slaves were a part of the business model. Here's the thing, slavery as a tool for farming was already on its way out. It was already on its way out, and it wouldn't exist today because mechanized farming is so much better and so much more efficient than using slaves was, and much more cost efficient. I mean, it wouldn't have been here; it would have been gone. And let's not forget that. I'm not saying that it was right. I'm not. It was wrong. Slavery is wrong, but it would have been gone by now, I believe. Yes, we are a democratic capitalist republic. Yes, of course, but I'm talking about how they teach communism now and have posters on the wall. Yes, but that was when we were talking about books on Marxism and communism. Study it and civics and learn about the differences between governments. Yeah, we're on the same page on that. You should visit your local government indoctrination center and you'll have a rude awakening. And I got 1,000% true. Yes, I have the documents. And then you said I was wrong.
Oh, he's talking about the Jewish slave owner stuff, ships.
Watchman,
We're not,
why does everything have to go back to this? I know you hate Jews. I know you hate them and you can't stand them. All right. But that's anti-Semitism, and you push it down our throats every chance you get. Stop it. We don't support any type of hate on this show. We don't. And I'm not going to put anything else up relating to that. You and I agree on a lot of stuff, but you are incorrect on a lot of stuff, and you refuse to see it. And it's just like this comment about them all being owned by Jews. That's not true. I know for a fact it's not true. There were there were more than one or two slaving companies. There were hundreds of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they made a trip. And it was not all Jewish people. Dude, lighten up on innocent, please, for me, lighten up on it, please, because I'm not gonna promote that here, and I don't want to promote it here. You're not speaking truth. You're not speaking truth, Bubba. You need to research it a little bit more, and don't just research it from your particular angle. Okay.
And don't take,
you know,
and don't take just what was written by one book. You know, you might have to do a deep dive into you know, and really look into not just one source. It has to be multiple sources. You know, you know, don't just look at one source, because people can fabricate things, and people can, in today's day and age, people can make things look like anything. So it has to be sourced by multiple things. And so, you know, this book that you say that you've read, or that everybody should read, um you know, I would need more proof than that one book.
yeah. And here's a nice little thought for you, just to prove my point. Where did slavery? Who was the first slaver over there? It was Christopher Columbus, and he was definitely not Jewish. The story of slaves in America begins with Christopher Columbus. His voyage to America was not financed by Queen Isabella, but by Louis de Santiangelo, who advanced the sum of 17,000, which is about 5,000 pounds today, equal to 50,000 then, to finance the voyage. I mean, that's where it started. You know, look, Watchman, I don't care if, look, just for me, lighten up on it, please, please, please. I'm asking. You know, we agree on a lot of stuff. All right. Look, we're not going to agree. You're going to keep contradicting everything I say. I'm going to turn chat off. I'm just not even going to say it. And it doesn't come up after the show. So, I mean, just going to turn it off. So, sorry, guys. No chat tonight. I'm trying.
I know you are.
I have chewed it to a nub. I've chewed it to a nub. So, some people are just bigots, and that's what they're going to be. They're not going to see anything but that.
Yeah.
And I understand that. So, I've got another online moderator that's now looking at it. If it gets too bad, I'll just kick him for the night.
Okay.
And if I have to, I'll kick him permanent. I'm not dealing with that anymore on this show.
There you go.
So anyway, we were talking about manners and respect. And see, there again, This chat line is another way of disrespecting bad and poor manners. You know, when someone asks you to quit doing something or to be respectful of their space and their show and what they're trying, the message that they're trying to send, and you have to interject, you think that your opinion and your thoughts are much more important than what they have to say. So you have to interject with that and sends them off on a tangent from what they were trying to talk about. True. If you have feel that strong about something, I mean, there's hundreds of websites where you can set up your own podcast. There are
Oh
hundreds.
yeah.
You know, you go on there and spread all the hate and discontent you want to, and show the world just how anti-Semitic and bigoted you are. You can do that. So, yes, Barry, you are right. Chuck is entitled to a tuna and anything in the fridge. Yes, we were talking about respect for Chuck. He's entitled to sleep in any bedroom he wants and on any appliance he wants. That is not true. He is not sleeping on my stove. He is not sleeping on my stove.
Hey, have you guys heard of this app called Whatnot?
Yeah. This is also true, Barry. To the Dutch immigrants coming over in 1548. So, yeah. Yeah. What's not?
Whatnot, yeah.
Whatnot? Yeah.
I discovered it this weekend.
Okay.
It's pretty neat.
Yes, it is.
I
Keep going. I'm working on something here.
I know. I just discovered it this weekend and I just threw it out there, and then here you have already known about it. Why didn't you tell me about it?
I don't know. I thought everybody already knew about it. I mean, I'm not exactly technological savvy. If I know about something or I learn about something, I automatically expect others to already know about it.
No, not me, dude. Look, I'm usually one of the last ones to know. So if you know about it, I probably don't know about it. So
Okay.
you might want to tell me.
Okay. I got you. I got you.
So
Oh,
So what was what I found out about it, and it's this guy that was on Facebook that he does. May want to bring him on our plant show.
okay.
He has a thing on Whatnot. That's how I found out about Whatnot. He was doing a live on Facebook, and that he does these things that you can do. You can. It's weird. It's these. He calls them adapters. You can put them on mason jars. You can put them on Coca-Cola bottles. You can put them on like V8 bottles. You can put them on just about any kind of bottle. Okay, but they sit upside down. The bottles do, and then you have this little adapter to it, and you can grow all kinds of things. And it reminds me of the container little garden thing that you said you and Paige might want to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, he had all kinds of stuff growing in the background, like all kinds of little microgreens and everything. And what he was doing is he used it to water his little microgreen stuff. It was really neat. I'll have to send you his link.
You'll have to.
Because if we can get him on the show, hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I don't like doing this, but I'm shutting him down for the night. I'm looking.
You look.
I'm still listening to you.
Well, no, it's fine.
Okay. Sorry, Watchman. I muted you for tonight. I will take it off tomorrow. I'm not dealing with it. And
So I
if it
gotta
comes
drive.
back on that again, I'll just do it again.
So I gotta drive to Hotlanta in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, got a doctor's appointment.
Doctor's appointment in Hot Atlanta.
Yeah,
That's no fun.
I know.
I don't like driving in Hot Atlanta. Although I am going to say this, having been there before and spending a lot of time driving around there, Tallahassee is much better set up than Atlanta ever thought about being. There's no constant road construction. There's none of that. I mean, it is absolutely a pleasant place to drive in. And if you've never been there then or driven in Tallahassee, oh my gosh, it's well manicured, it's taken care of. Uh, they instead of cutting down these great big huge oak trees that are everywhere, they actually landscape around them.
See,
Huge
that's
flower beds
wonderful.
down the roads, the capsule area. And then I went by on No King's Day by the courthouse. Paige and I drove right past it.
Mhm.
And as far as I could tell, the No Kings rally was one sign hung up over a piece of chain that was there for decoration. And they had No Faux Kings written on it. And that was it. There was nobody else around.
That's funny.
Uh, yes. So that was Chuck Barry. Oh yeah, we already brought this up. I've got to put this up over here so folks can see what kind of snot you're telling everybody. There we go. Chuck is entitled to tuna.
Yeah, we saw that already.
He is not entitled to tuna. That's what I eat. I don't let him eat people food.
Wait a minute.
Uh,
Barry said something strange is happening. What do you mean something strange is happening, Barry?
let us know.
What
Talk to us.
what strange is happening, Barry? You okay?
My camera's not moving anymore. My camera's froze up.
Oh, you left me, Rob. You left me.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh.
I just don't see you.
All right. Well, maybe I'm just in the closet now. I tell you
Get
what,
out.
let me
Get out.
drop out. Let me drop out and I'll drop right back in.
Okay.
It's crazy.
So at lunchtime show today, we were talking about tax. We were talking about taxes. I hate taxes. Hate them with a passion. Um, and so I think everybody hates taxes. So, let me ask y'all's opinion. Um, there's some states that don't take out a state tax, which, I don't feel like we should have to pay federal tax either. Which I know that's how the federal government gets their money. But good Lord, we get taxed to death. We pay a federal tax, we pay a state tax, we pay um a sales tax, we pay um a tax when we get gas, we pay a property tax on property we done bought and paid taxes on. We still paying a property tax every year. We own the property. I mean, good grief. It's ridiculous. And then, I feel like we pay too much taxes. You know, so oh, it's Addie. Oh, you back?
I'm back.
Okay. I was bringing up the tax thing again
Okay.
from lunchtime. So, Tennessee, they don't take out no state sales tax or no state tax.
State tax. Right.
State tax. But their sales tax is up a little. Their state sales tax is up.
Yes.
Like when you go to the grocery store and things like that.
Yeah. Stuff
Which,
like that costs you more.
yes. Which I guess it evens out in the long run.
It does.
And because they gonna get their money one way or another.
They absolutely are.
And do you know why people? You know why we started paying property taxes?
Why?
Because it was either during one. It was one of the world wars, one or two. I don't remember which one. And I can never say that correctly. Um,
I think it was
they
two. Let me double check it.
okay.
Let me double check it. What was that? State taxes?
No, property tax.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. When was it introduced? And I've got a whole bunch of stuff here on taxes, nothing on when. The history of property taxes in the United States. Let's see. It was taxes based on the ownership of property were used in ancient times. Knew that. Pre-commercial agriculture areas, the property tax was a feasible source of local government revenue. Da, da, da. When the Revolutionary War began, the colonies had a well-developed tax system, which made a war against England. The 19th century. I'm looking.
You good?
It's on livestock. When was all right, it was reforming the property tax in the 20th century. Efforts to reform the property tax varied from state to state, but usually included centralized assessment of railroad and utility property and exemption or classification of some forms of property. The Depression years after 1929 resulted in widespread property tax delinquency, and several states' taxpayers forcibly resisted sale of tax-resistant delinquent property after World War II. And it also included the homestead exemption at that point.
Okay.
So it was after World War II.
What happened then?
Many states replaced the homestead exemptions with state financed circuit breakers, which benefited lower and middle class homeowners, older homeowners, and disabled persons. In many states, renters were included by provisions as classified of a portion of rental payment as property tax. By 1991, 35 states had some sort of circuit breakers, advisory commissions on intergovernmental relationships. Proponents of the general property tax believed that uniform and universal taxation of property would tend to limit taxes. That's not true. That's not the way it worked. There is no top end right now in the state of Georgia that the county has. There is no top end. If they're not getting enough money, they'll reassess you at a higher value.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So there's no top end on it. During World War II, state and local taxes were stable or decreased. Property tax today is stupid.
Oh, I agree.
And you're lucky I let you back in. Stop it. I'm not going to ask you again. If I have to ask you again, I'm going to mute you permanently from this channel. You do have freedom of speech to spread your hate anywhere you want to. But if you do it on here again, I will mute you off this channel permanently. I did let you back in. I enjoy our conversations. I do not like the anti-Semitism that you seem to love to spread and that you have such a firm belief in. I will not share it again. And that's my last one. So, you know, in the long run, I mean, our taxes in this country controlled our property taxes. The property taxes that we pay are controlled on the county level. And they use that to pay for the needs and support the needs of the county.
Yes.
But those dollars are not managed well. This is why it's so important. Your local elections are so important. You know, and people will vote on let me go make this permanent. You know, but this is why it's so important to have these local elections and there be accountability at some level for this. And there's no watchdogs in place at all on this. None. People, they just keep running it up higher and higher and higher. And they don't care. They absolutely don't care. The county doesn't. And they'll just keep right on doing it the way they want to. So, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yes, Anthony, I know. People do forget that. And, you know, there's no reason we should never not be able to go back to that. And, you know, I think that as concerned citizens, we should be able to go in to our counties and things like that and to look at where our taxes are going. You know, our state taxes for, you know, like our property taxes, you know, our money is going. And say, you know, where is my property taxes going?
Yeah. And we need to do that. We need to do that. We need to demand accountability from the people in charge. I want to know where every nickel's going. I want to know where, you know, why we have to pay the amount of taxes that we have to pay, because it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, you know, this should be information that's readily available. It should be. It's not, but it should be. So I'm gonna, yeah. I'm gonna, before I do anything else, I'm gonna see if I can have that paperwork in hand, because I want it. I want to know why we have to pay so much in taxes, because Miller County is one of the highest tax counties in the state. And see,
that's crazy.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, and they go back to, oh, we dropped the millage rate, but they raised the appraised value on it so much that people are paying anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 more in taxes. I live in a double wide mobile home. It's nice, and it shouldn't be. You know, it should depreciate because it's a mobile home. It's a trailer.
Yeah.
No, it's actually increased in value by their, and I'm not having it. That is crazy. Trailers don't gain in value. And oh well, it will cost this much to build it, but it didn't cost that much to build it when I bought it. What gives you the
Yeah.
right to come back through now and say, "Oh no, we're going to charge you more for it," because if it does, okay, great, I've got some equity. That's not for them. That's
Mm-mm.
mine. I made a smart decision and bought it when I bought it and bought it outright. I don't owe no mortgage or nothing on it, but I bought it outright. So now they're going to punish me for it? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Uh, Anthony says this is what also gets me upset with property taxes specifically is everyday people like us pay high property taxes, but these rich people and real estate models pay 10 times lower. Uh, I haven't seen where that's the government generally. Well, like the monkey farm, they don't pay no taxes. If they get to Bainbridge, they don't have to pay no taxes for X amount of time. There's a Publix going up in Bainbridge. I don't know how long they're tax free, where they don't have to pay taxes. We don't know, but yeah, they'll encourage business to come in and cut them all these tax breaks, but the everyday person just has to keep paying more and more and more. I don't think that's right or fair.
No.
I think there ought to be a way for them to make their own money off of it. There ought to be. Miss Elizabeth, I'm gonna let you take over just a second. I've got to run to the restroom and I will be right back.
Okay. In general, is the state of Georgia or Tennessee one of the higher tax of properties? That's why housing is so expensive. Or are you guys one of the lowest property tax states? Somewhere too high. I think it just depends on where you buy your property in within the state, because each county is different. Um, it just it really just depends. Um, for my 3 acres here in Whitfield County, um, trying to think, it went up a little bit. It's going to be about $500. So, I mean, I know that's not bad for 3 acres and a mobile home on it, but I don't know about Tennessee. Um, I don't think. I know there's some really good places in Tennessee where the property taxes aren't bad at all. So, and then there's places, like where Rob was saying, and that's very expensive. Um, and then of course when you're in the city, it's going to be bad, of course. But everywhere's different. So you just have to check. You just have to check. I know in the county next to me, if anybody's looking for property, there's 37 acres for sale. And it looks like really good property. Um, I don't think the property taxes is really that bad on it either. I think when I was looking, it maybe was like a 1,500 for the year. That's not bad. Not bad at all. So yeah. But like Rob and I was saying, the Tennessee line is not far from where I live. And so you have a lot of people that will live in Tennessee and come to Georgia to do their shopping because the sales tax is cheaper. So they get the benefit of not paying Tennessee sales tax, and then they come to Georgia and use Georgia's cheaper sales tax. Um, did I say that right? They live in Tennessee, like in Cleveland, even Chattanooga. They don't pay Tennessee income tax, state tax. Come to Georgia, do all the grocery store shopping, even the clothing stop shopping. Don't pay the sales tax. There we go. And you know, because we only have 7%, whereas in Tennessee, I think it's 14%, maybe. Yeah. So this is what frustrates me also is how, as everyday citizens, we can't get the salaries and financial records of people. Oh, I agree. Um, and I don't think that we should have those records of their salaries because we're the ones paying those salaries. We voted them in, and we should be able to have those. Their salaries should be record, and it should be made public, and because they're servants of of that we voted in, and so as public servants, their salaries should always be made public. And you know, I don't agree with their salaries not being public. And it's very frustrating. Let's see, that's how it is if you live in Jacksonville. A lot of people from border cities in Georgia and South Carolina drive in. Oh, what's the sales tax down in Jacksonville? Is it Jacksonville, Florida?
Yeah. Yeah,
So what's
Jacksonville,
the
Florida.
so what's the sales tax down there, Anthony? I was just down
On,
there a week and a half ago.
on food, there is no sales tax in Florida on food.
Really?
Yes, and I've gotten to the point to where, our taxes are so high in Miller County, I try not to even buy anything here. I'll go to Seminole County, I'll go to Florida. Our taxes, I don't think, are being managed in a way that is conducive for business. It's sure enough not helping me none here where I'm located as far
Yeah.
as my road service and such like that. So I'm not spending my money here.
Anthony and I were just talking about how, as public officials that are elected in, all of their salaries should always be made public.
Yes. In
You know,
fact,
there should.
anybody hired by the county, be it a consultant or whatever, that information needs to be made public.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these people, like in Decatur County, the guy that, what's his name? I can't say his name. But the guy that sets up all the business deals and tries to bring businesses into Decatur County and wheels and deals and does all this stuff, cuts them breaks
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. He don't even live in Decatur County. He don't even live there.
Where's he
Why would
live?
he care? Oh, he lives outside the county. Why would he care if Decatur County has a monkey farm in it or not? He don't have no stake here. You can't make this stuff up.
Wow.
So, but yeah, grocery sales tax are too expensive in a lot of places. But yeah, in Florida, there is no state sales tax on groceries. Now, I'm not saying there's not East Bloss tax, but they're not supposed to tax groceries at all.
See, it should be like that everywhere.
It should, especially now. When things are so tight on everybody, They should not be charging sales tax on groceries. They shouldn't.
Mm-mm.
But it's getting more expensive for the state to run. I understand why they're doing it, but there needs to be an accounting. We need to have Elon Musk go through, or his little crew go through state by state, county by
I agree.
I
Cut
mean, come on.
cut the fat everywhere.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
know, we have
I
how many
am.
county commissioners? We've got 5 or 6 here in Miller County.
Listen, I know for a fact I could go down to Atlanta and um cut, and there's no telling how many jobs I could cut down in Atlanta in that gold dome.
Yeah.
I don't know how many jobs I could probably cut down there in that gold dome
Yeah.
just
Oh,
to
yeah.
probably cut a lot of fat.
Yeah.
And and no telling how many jobs in Dalton I could go and cut fat on. Here's your little tidbit. Here. Y'all will love this one. Oh, y'all gonna love this one.
Let's have it.
I know somebody that don't work there no more, at the courthouse.
Yeah.
Juvenile records, like where they would be there, and she went into work every day, no matter how bad she felt. She was there every day.
Mm-hmm.
Her boss, which she had been there for years, she was on a salary. She didn't feel like coming in. She just didn't come in.
Wow.
But yet she didn't turn in a sick day. Would not turn in a sick day. And then the other girl that would work there should be like, just don't even worry about coming in. We ain't gonna tell nobody. Would tell the other girl that was there that would go in every day, no matter how bad she felt. It'd be all right. We ain't gonna tell nobody.
It's crazy. That person don't need to be there.
They're getting paid by our money, taxpayers' money.
Yeah. But that's the way a lot of people look at it. It's just tax money. It's just tax money. It don't matter. It's just government money. I work for the government. It's just government money.
That's people that could be cut. Put people in there that really want a job.
Yeah.
That's going to be there to do the job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, I'm like, put them back out on the streets. Let them go find another job. Let them work at McDonald's. Let them work at Burger King. Let them work somewhere where they got to go in. They can't just sit at home and pull
Donald
up their
Trump did it for a day.
The what?
Donald Trump worked at McDonald's for a day. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for them.
Amen.
Yeah, he actually drove a garbage truck too. That was amazing.
That's funny.
Biden turned the White House into a nursing home so he could finish his tour up, and let everybody cover him, so everybody there was, changing his diapers and stuff and all that kind of mess, they still got paid, but, they weren't doing their jobs. They were running a nursing home.
No.
I'm sorry, that wasn't very nice. But, there's so much waste and fraud
yes
goes on in these counties, and it's at the county level a lot of times. It's at a county level, and nobody cares about voting in the county elections. Nobody. All they want to vote for is president. They don't realize just how much.
Oh, I do. I vote in all of them.
Yeah. They don't realize just how much these small local elections directly affects you. It affects you more than the presidential election. Presidential election, don't get me wrong, but these local elections are what affects you directly. And
Mm-hmm.
people just throw it. Oh, it's not president. Oh, I'm not going.
I
Oh, I'm
know
not
it.
voting that one. That's just not big enough for me. It goes along the same lines as these idiots that go out and say, "Well, I'd buy a lottery ticket this week, but I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bigger before I buy one." It's just not enough for me to drive up to the store and get that ticket. You know, and not that I'm promoting people going to play the lottery or nothing like that. I don't play the lottery, but if I did play the lottery, I'd play it every dad blame week.
I
I don't,
know.
but oh, it's only 50 million now.
I
I think I'll
know.
wait till it gets up to a couple of hundred before I go play it.
What I couldn't do with 50 million,
Yeah, anything you
even
want
though I
to.
don't play it either.
Yeah. Anthony says the only thing we have sales tax on in Florida is big items like car, furniture, boats, personal watercraft. Groceries don't get taxed very high, neither do clothes. Groceries don't get taxed at all in Florida. I don't think. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. Let me double check. Uh, I want to make sure because I don't want to. I don't want to tell somebody wrong. Uh, is there sales tax on food in Florida? Ha ha.
You should put groceries, not food.
All right. Grocery food is generally tax exempt in Florida. It provides a list of the groceries in the publication. Um, well, all right, here's a good one, I think. The sales tax handbook, Florida. While Florida sales tax generally applies to most transactions, which is set by the state at 6%, certain items have special treatment. In many states, when it comes to sales tax, let's see, grocery food exempt. Sales of grocery foods are exempt from the sales tax in Florida. Now, catering is taxable, and I think restaurants are taxable as well.
Yes, we got taxed when
So,
we ate when I was down there.
yeah. So there is tax on restaurants, but to buy food to bring home and cook groceries, there's no sales tax. It's exempt. So that's one of the reasons why I pop down to Florida when I go grocery, or I try to. That's why I got membership at one of the big box stores. So I can go down
Mm-hmm.
there and buy my groceries. I don't have to pay tax on
I don't blame you.
it. Yes, Washington should have one tax, like a flat tax, but
Mm-hmm.
not that exact. Yeah, there should be some way to level the playing field, but there's not. So I
You
mean, we can
know,
always hope.
what would be, and I thought about doing this, is putting out like in our community here where I live, like just sending out postcards in the area where I live, inviting everybody to. I'd have to get with a local church here, and inviting people to like a potluck or something like that to kind of network with each other. And, that way it would give people that don't know everybody a chance to meet everybody to say, oh, okay, hey, this person has cattle and you know, they would be interested in selling shares, like a fourth of a cow, a half a cow, a whole cow, whatever. Um, that way people in the community that don't know that about this person, they could meet them and get to know them
Yes.
and maybe meet the local farmers that are in the community that might grow big, have bigger
Yeah.
farms that produce stuff that say, okay, during the summer, this is what I grow and this is what I produce. Um, go to them during the summer and say, hey, here's what I like, or no, not say, if you grow this, I'll buy this, but that the farmer says, I grow corn, I grow this and this and this, and you know, I'll, maybe have like a community page or something, and
Yeah.
that way things can be posted when things are ready.
Mm. Yeah.
That way, people can get to know people in their get to know people in their community. B, they can shop within their community.
Yes.
Maybe I have something that I could barter with somebody in my community.
Yeah.
I hadn't made one in a while, but sometimes I get a hankering to make a quilt. You know,
Yeah.
um, I may make one for my granddaughter, because she's, got her own bed now. My
Mhm.
oldest one does, and I may make one for her bed,
Yeah.
and um, so that could be something I could barter with somebody,
Yeah.
and you know that's what, if people would start doing that within their own, I feel like people would start doing that in their own communities and getting to know people better and more, then we as a society and as communities would be able to help out farmers more.
It would. It really would. And there is so many ways the farmers need help. They
They
really, really,
do.
and being able to sell stuff fresh to people locally would be awesome. You know,
Mhm.
also your local farmers and stuff that have big gardens and stuff. I can't keep up with mine anymore. I'm doing something different. I'm planting fruit. I'm gonna plant me 3 or 4 peach trees. I'm gonna plant me a few plum trees. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm gonna put my row of citrus out there, and I'm gonna sell it at what I have extra. I'm thinking about putting me some strawberry racks out, and get them up higher so I got to crawl around on the ground and pick them.
Mhm.
Blueberries, and I'm gonna sell them, and I'm gonna put some up, and I'm gonna sell the rest. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm on the citrus. I'm gonna do a lime and a lemon tree, and I'm gonna do a couple of orange trees. I already have a tangerine tree, and that's all I'm doing. 3 or 4 people can buy a cow and share the meat. I used to work with some guys that did that. Yeah, Watchman, that's perfectly acceptable if you got a place to store that much food. Which I have to get another freezer because my freezer is it went out.
Oh
Uh,
no.
it went out a year and a half ago, and I just
Oh,
hadn't
okay.
replaced it. I've just been using I've got a side by side. I've got a good big freezer, but I caught a whiff of something. Those things seal up pretty tight. And I kept smelling something in the house. I'm like, is there a rat dead or something like that? It stinks, whatever it is. And I don't know how long it was down. But when I went in there and I saw the light wasn't on, I didn't even crack the lid on it. I
I don't
went and
blame you.
grabbed duct tape and I taped that thing shut and sealed it. I used a whole roll of duct tape sealing that freezer shut. And I've got a blown out back and epileptic and everything else. Sometimes I can't hardly even walk. But I got that dad blame thing out of the house. And I called my uncle. I said, I got a problem, and you're gonna have to help me. And he came hooked up to my trailer, and we took it straight to the dump. And I told the guy at the dump, I said, do not open this lid. Oh, I had, I don't know, 20, 30 pounds of fish that I'd caught out of the creek.
Oh.
I had steaks, I had beef, I had chicken, I had pork, and I know it was just a soup in the bottom. You
Ugh.
know, I know it was. I didn't have to crack the lid to look. I could hear it sloshing in there. I knew I didn't want it loose in my house, but it went right out the back door. I got it down the steps by myself. Gary came down. He said, "How in the world did you get this thing down here?" I said, "I don't know, but it couldn't stay where it was. That's all I know." Oh, yeah. But yeah, 3 or 4 people going in on a
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something else. Hunting is a viable way to get meat. It
Oh,
is.
yes.
My friend bought a cow for $5 at auction. It looked rough, but she's big and pretty now. Yeah, yeah, feed them out. We need hunters. We need them. He was a calf. Okay.
Yeah.
But we need hunters. We need hunters out thinning out these herds of deer. People don't
Mm-hmm.
hunt like they used to. I know my granddaddy grew up Depression era. Okay. He was a dirt farmer. Him and his older brother, my Uncle Ivy, and I grew up around these old codgers. My granddaddy was around till a few years ago, but my Uncle Ivy, he passed away when I was 13, but him and Mr. Bill Mock didn't come around me that I didn't leave with them. And I'd go up to their house. I'd go out checking traps and everything else. And if Uncle Ivy caught it, he'd eat it, except for a skunk. He'd feed them possums out and he'd cook them up. Raccoons, squirrel. I go squirrel hunting. My grandma made the best squirrel dumplings you've ever had. All right, but there's a trick to them. They got a musk gland. You got to cut them out. Once you cut that musk gland out, they're good. Um, but when you're hungry, like they were,
Eat.
you're gonna eat. And
Mm-hmm.
the creeks and stuff around here back then were used as an excellent source of protein. You know, they could get lettuce or they get tomatoes, they get cucumbers and squash in the summertime. And the wintertime, they still get their grains and stuff. But these creeks and stuff back in Depression era, that was free meat. Yeah,
Oh,
my
yeah.
granddaddy, my granddaddy had a rule. It wasn't no, is it big enough to keep? If it was big enough to get on that hook, it was big enough to eat. He didn't care if it was this big. We're gonna scale it, gut it, take the head off of it, and we're gonna fry it. All right. It didn't matter if it was this big or this big. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't matter. Uh,
Yeah, you got to watch for deer jumping out in
you
the
do,
road.
you do, and they
They
will
do that up
mangle
here
a car.
too.
They will absolutely mangle a car, and I
Mm-hmm.
hate to see anybody's car get hit by one. But at this time of year, they're nuts because they're in rut. The does are running away from the bucks, and the bucks are chasing them, and they don't care about that car. They just want to get away or catch it. That's all they're interested in. And oh my
And
God,
look, if I hit one that's dead, it ain't staying in the road. I'm telling you right now, it's dead. It ain't staying in the road.
yeah.
It's coming right up here to the barn, and it's hanging, and it's getting divvied out.
Now I'm gonna tell you, yeah, they will jump into you. They will. It's not just you hitting the deer. The deer will run into your car.
Mm-hmm.
Earl, buddy of mine, was bringing me down here one time, and we watched for deer, and he missed two. But that tow one ran right into the side of his car. I thought
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to go back there and make sure it was dead and gone, but he just stunned it. It was just knocked out, and I saw them feet start kicking. And next thing I know, it was up and it was boom, gone. But they came and filled out the report on it. The police officers did. If a deer does hit your vehicle, get the police to come and fill out an accident report right then, because they'll see the hair, they'll see all the signs of it. They know how to fill these things out and then turn it into your insurance. Because if you don't, then the insurance may or may not. Because his insurance company was like, "Did you get?" That's the first words out of their mouth. Did you get a police report? And I guarantee you, if he had said no, they wouldn't have paid it.
Wow.
But he did get a police report, and the police said it's obviously a deer hit. Look at all the hair, you know, and you could tell when a deer hit your car. Absolutely. So, you know, but hunting deer, we need that. I mean, this what they
Mm.
call the zombie virus is floating around. That's why. I mean,
What's that?
they get all these sores and stuff all over them. They don't even look alive half the time. That's why they call them zombie deer when they have it, and it spreads. Like, especially this time of year, it's really bad, which this is hunting season. But like if they go to mate and it spreads from one deer to another, they rub on each other, they fight, and everything else. It could jump from deer to deer to deer to deer, and it spreads. And it's rough. So let's see if I can find the actual name
It's
on it.
okay. I believe you.
Oh no, there's a name for it, and I just can't. So I'm gonna put in what is the disease that causes. I'm just gonna put zombie deer. All right, here we go. It's a chronic wasting disease. It's a natural infection that affects members of the deer family in the United States. It affects mule deer, white-tailed deer, red deer, sika deer, elk, bison, antelope, caribou, and moose. It is spreading. Which, as we've gotten less and less hunters over the years, this has spread worse and worse. Now, there are stronger areas of hunting in some places than others. But I know in Alabama, it's bad. Florida's got a report of it too. So it's spreading in Florida now. That was posted a day ago. And this is not something you want to eat, but you have to keep that population down. You got to keep the population of the deer under control, and the elk and the moose and everything else. You have to keep these populations under control. If you don't, it's going to spread. And that's unfortunate.
That's how they're made, right there. That's how they're made.
What?
Be the end of the population. Somebody's gonna kill a zombie.
We're gonna have the zombie apocalypse, but it's gonna be deer.
And that's gonna have the zombie apocalypse is gonna start.
Think I'm safe. We're gonna have to worry about all the people named Charles first.
Wow,
So all you
Charles.
chucks out there when the zombie apocalypse starts because somebody ate a zombie deer, you've had it. Don't come around me. I like chuck roast and ground chuck. Oh yeah, chuck steak. Yeah, chuck eye. Oh baby. Oh, you've had it. You come around me. Throw you right in the grinder. Make a whole bunch of ground chuck.
Oh, jeez.
Come on, Charles. Eat you a zombie deer. Come down here. All these rednecks down here be looking for you. We know how to call you in too. We'll crack a PBR. You'll be running in to see where we're at. Pow!
I'm gonna get on one. I'm gonna bring one of those trucks. I'm gonna get one that has the ice cream sound to it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm just gonna bring them all down there to you.
Okay. All the guys named Chuck.
Now the zombie.
The zombie deer? No.
No.
You're gonna bring the zombies down here to me.
And let y'all take care of them.
Oh, them rednecks take care of that. Don't come here. I ain't a redneck. You'll have to go find the rednecks down there in the panhandle of Florida. Just don't stop. Just wait till you get across the Florida line. That's all you got to do. Just cross the Chattahoochee into Florida. You got it covered. Right there. They'll be chasing after you. They'll be like, hot
Then
dog,
how am I gonna get out?
Huh?
How am I gonna get out?
Just they'll shoot them. Just slow down. Let them get a chance to get out there on the edge of the road. They'll be like a duck shoot. It'd be like Dick Cheney on a quail hunt. They'll shoot every one of them. So
Look,
nice.
that was funny. That was great. That was great.
You know Dick Cheney's a redneck. You know he is. If you've gone on a quail hunt and shot somebody, you was definitely a redneck. And there was probably some PBR involved, or at least some old Milwaukee or Milwaukee's Best or something, Natural Light. There might even, I don't know, it's Dick Cheney. He's got money. It was probably Budweiser or Heineken's.
It was probably a little pot.
It may have been that too. Cocaine. Uppers, downers.
The marijuana.
Okay.
It was some marijuana.
Last shot with Mary Jane. One more time to kill the pain.
It was marijuana.
Oh, I just had about 50 songs go through my head. I got to break out my song maker. I'm fixing to, see, y'all seen the movie WWZ with Brad Pitt and the Southern preaching at the end of Zombies Are Dead? Is Pastor Charles Lawson. He said they offered him money. He said, no, but play the clip I give you and no credit. That's awesome. Yes, I have seen World War Z.
Yes.
Brad Pitt. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, what was the movie I watched recently that I kind of liked? I love the Alien movies, most of them.
Yeah.
And if y'all seen this series that's out, there's a series for Alien on Hulu, I think.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's pretty good. That's Charles Lawson. Okay. Pastor Charles Lawson. I'm sorry, I may have skipped something there. My eyes are getting blurry. I've been up all day and we're about 2 hours into this. And I don't know if y'all know how tiring podcasting can be, going back and forth between the chat and everything else. Whew. Sometimes it can be interesting. You know, a lot of times, like, it seems like we're not paying attention. We are, but we've got, like, I've got 3 screens up right now that I'm floating through. And when Dave's on here, a lot of times it doesn't seem like he's paying attention, but he is. So, I mean.
And I'm just tired.
Yep. So.
My arthritis is hurt.
I am too, and I got to get up at 6 o'clock at 5:30 in the morning. And as soon as it gets up warm enough, I don't know if I've watched that one, Watchmen. Mm-mm. Dave probably has. I don't remember watching that one.
Sermon on Hell. It went viral. Mine went viral too.
Yours went viral. You're preaching on hell. It did.
Steve.
With Steve. You tried to send Steve to hell. It wasn't hell.
Hell.
It was hell.
It was not like that.
It was like 15 syllables.
It was not.
Watchmen. She made the word hell into 15 syllables. I promise you.
I did not.
I'll play it. I'll play it.
Play
15.
it.
I ain't playing it right now. I'll play it later.
15.
Maybe 16.
I went.
And you could hear her head bobbing while she was saying.
This is what I did. I went, oh, Steve, you might go to hell.
Hell. You ought to hear Steve say it. Steve says it like you did that night. He may be one of the best preachers on earth, even though I don't agree with him on everything. He's a great man of God. You know, that's just it. We don't have to agree with everybody and everything. That's what we were saying at the beginning of the show. But we got to have respect for everybody out there. And, you know, and that's where manners and stuff like that comes in. And this show tonight was supposed to be all about manners. And we didn't cover that much. I mean, I got a list this long made for me. It's all right. We got sidetracked. And that happens. And that's going to happen with podcasting. Well, we can continue on with manners next week because there's a lot of stuff to talk about on manners. But I want to leave y'all with a thought. Do something nice for somebody. Tomorrow is Tuesday. This is Monday night. We're through Monday. Tomorrow, do something nice for somebody, for a complete stranger. Do it for a complete stranger.
Yes.
Like if you're at a grocery store and you see a little lady trying to reach something off the top shelf, reach up and grab it for her. Don't ask her, just grab it. Somebody's pushing a buggy in, take it in for them. Yeah, I know. But that's only when you're eating, right? You can put your elbows on the table as long as you're not eating, right?
I do.
Okay. You will just find a random person tomorrow and do something nice for them.
Yeah.
Challenge for everybody out there. Y'all find just somebody, do something nice. It don't matter what it is. If they look sad, just tell them, hey, good morning. You have a great day. That's
If it's
simple.
a lady, even if it's a lady, hey, you look wonderful today.
Yeah. Now, I don't mean nothing by it. Yeah. That's right. Don't talk with your
Brighten her
mouth
day.
full. Yeah, brighten somebody's day. Challenge for you, for y'all. Hey, and on Wednesday night, tell us what you did. Yeah, there we go. That'll get us started right on the topic right there. All right. Hey, Miss Elizabeth, you got anything else you want to cover tonight?
No,
You
I'm
want
ready
out and ready
to go
for
to
bed?
bed.
Well, everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. Get up and go outside to off gas. Now, look, I'm not saying be silly. Look, if you have to off gas, your sweetie's in bed with you, just pull the covers over her head, watch them paw at it.
Unless you got a room full of horrid kids and it's
Miss
silent
Elizabeth
heaven.
has been known to do that. Did you do that the other day with the middle schoolers?
No, I wish I did have to. I wouldn't have cared if it'd been silent or not.
Oh, no doubt.
They were horrid.
Yes.
Never going back. Never.
You don't have to. Just teach them elementary school kids and high school kids.
Mhm.
All right. Well, everybody, y'all have a great night. God bless you. A big old salute. Miss Elizabeth, you have a great night too. Go get some sleep.
Thank you.
All
Bye,
right.
y'all.
Bye, guys.
Mama said